Hello, and welcome to the Under Budget Outdoors podcast, a podcast for new, intermediate, and seasoned hunters across the world. A podcast about experience, gear, knowledge, and more. Whether you hunt with a bow, crossbow, rifle, or shotgun, you can hunt properly and efficiently while being under budget. Just remember, it doesn't take big bucks to kill big bucks. Let's get right into it.
Oh, hey guys, welcome back, episode 8 to Under Budget Outdoors. Brock, PJ, myself. Like, subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, all that stuff. I believe today we are talking about how to get involved with different outdoor companies, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. And just like normal, Brock's going to do most of the talking since he's been hunting since animals came alive.
I'm not that much of a dinosaur.
Brock's like
Almost.
94 years old, 7,000 years of experience. He was teaching the Neanderthals how to hunt.
And now I'm a Neanderthal myself.
See how that works?
But basically, this episode, we really just wanted to kind of, like Nate said, touch on ways to get involved. There's different organizations, different things that you can do. And as a new hunter, it's really going to help with making connections and getting involved with different people and different companies to kind of understand different products. You can get involved with different organizations on conservation, and it's really going to help with learning a specific species that you're going after. Like one thing, we've touched on it before and brought it up about the NDA, the National Deer Association. They have local branches that you can get involved with. And what they do is every branch is basically required to hold at least one educational and one fundraising event every year. So educational events could be, a lot of them do field walks. They go out to local state lands. They do just a walk. You can learn scouting. You can learn how to read topograph. You can learn different things like that. They also do what they call field to fork events, which are great for new hunters and are geared towards the new hunter. And basically what that does is it gives you a range day to get out there, get involved with your weapon and get comfortable with it. You go out, you hunt, you hopefully harvest an animal, whether it's a deer, turkey, whatever. And then they teach you everything about the butchering and how to process it, how to get everything, get all the meat out of it, what the different cuts are and all that kind of stuff. So if you're new to it, that's a really great way to get involved. There's also Turkeys for Tomorrow. They kind of do the exact same thing along with the NWTF, which is the National Wild Turkey Federation. They all have local branches as well that you can get involved in. They do the same thing. They do educational events. They do banquets. And at those banquets, you can win prizes and do drawings. And they do like a lot of them do like either giveaways or they'll do like a 50-50 raffle or something like a Chinese auction. You can come home with some pretty sweet merchandise. I know here in Jersey, we also have, there's an organization called United Bow Hunters of New Jersey, I believe it is. It's kind of the same thing, but they're just on a New Jersey local level to where the other ones are more of like a national level. As we put that teaser out, I think it was last episode or two, I'm actually in the process of starting a branch for the NDA in North Jersey. So we're going to be getting more involved with that ourselves, trying to get out there, just trying to get more people involved in the sport, get more people involved in the outdoors, and also help conserve the wildlife and the deer population around here. That's what the NDA really focuses on. They do a lot of research for CWD, EHD. They do a lot of research for habitat. Turkeys for Tomorrow does a lot of research and habitat conservation for the wild turkey population across the country. Obviously, the NWTF does the same. When you're getting involved in stuff like this at your local branches, it's going to help you learn about that species that you're going after, learn about the habitat that they prefer to be in, the kind of habitat that they look for, so that way when you're going out hunting, you know what habitat to look for, especially if you're going to public land or if you're doing out of state hunts and you're trying to locate areas that they can potentially be at. That would be a great way to learn that kind of stuff, so that way you can apply that to when you're going out in the field and trying to hunt them.
Now, with all those, I don't know, clubs or where can
Groups.
people go on? Is it like a what? Like, how do I get into contact with these groups?
Easiest way is just to go to their website. If you go to, if you just type in National Deer Association or Turkeys for Tomorrow to the Google search, it'll bring up their website, and it'll also, a lot of times right underneath it, it'll say, join now or donate now or something.
Okay.
I know for the NDA, they actually just changed their basic membership is free. You don't have to pay for it at all.
Okay.
And that gets you into, like, not actually like into the organization, but what it does is every Thursday they put out an email blast, and it's always a different topic. So, like this Thursday, it could be, hey, scouting. Next week it could be something about different habitat or different native foods that deer go after or whatever. They're always putting out a different topic. So that's a way for you to learn and for you to understand what's going on. I know that I think their next step up in membership, I think it's called premium. That one is $35, and that's for a year. And that gets you an actual membership. They send you like a hat and a sticker. And then it also, when you go onto their website to the membership page, you get discounts on like big box store stuff and like other companies and stuff like that. So you pay $35 and then you can save money on some other stuff that you're looking to buy throughout the year. NWTF, I think, does the same. I haven't personally joined up on NWTF yet. I've been meaning to do it, just haven't done it. So I don't really know exactly what all is involved in that. But a lot of these, especially the national ones, you get kind of like a kickback thing like that, like a discount or something like that.
Okay.
I know the United Bow Hunters of New Jersey, they actually just had a banquet this past weekend. I think it was last night. The one guy won a brand new bow. I think it was a Martin archery bow. There was a couple of guys that came out of there with some really nice targets, like the block targets or something like that. And they do events every year. They do 3D shoots, fundraisers, all that kind of stuff. And getting involved with the actual organization there again, I mean, you pay a couple bucks for a membership and you get access to all this stuff that they do all year long.
Huh. Wow. Okay. I didn't know it was that much, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure that, Pennsylvania, New York, whatever, they all have local things like that you can get involved in. But like I said, you go to something that's a national, the NDA, NWTF, whatever it is. I know, actually, I think out by you guys, there's a branch for the NDA and also Turkeys for Tomorrow when I was looking into it.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I mean, you can get involved with it. The Turkeys for Tomorrow is a newer organization. They're definitely not as old as the NWTF. I can't remember exactly when they started. I think it was like early 2000s or something like that. But from people that I've talked to that are involved in it, they do a great job on education, especially if you're looking to get into turkey hunting. That would be a great thing to get involved in, just to learn and to get understanding. And then also, when you're involved in this stuff and you're involved in a local branch, you're meeting other hunters, you're meeting other people, you're getting to conversate, you're getting to build up a friendship with different people, and that can lead to, hey, you're looking for a place to hunt, come hunt with me, or
Right.
Hey, I'll take you out, or I'll do whatever. You're building up those friendships and everything with everyone.
Yeah, the camaraderie between everybody, for sure.
Exactly. So for new people, it would be a fantastic way to get involved and try to get yourself out there and just meet new people and just learn as much as you possibly can to help you out when you're going out hunting.
No, legit. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to love to talk more to my boss about it. Like I was telling you guys, he's a big turkey hunter. He was actually out, I think, yesterday. He goes all over the place. But like he just came back from doing the Rio Grande and everything. I'm sure he's in some of these groups and stuff like that too. So I'll have to give him a shout and bring his ear a little bit and see what he's all into.
Yeah, tell him to come on here and we'll talk turkey one day. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd love to meet you guys, but I'm trying to convince him to go to Georgia. We'll see.
Hey,
it took a lot of convincing for this January thing that we haven't talked about yet on the podcast, but it took him a lot of convincing, like 2 text messages. So,
oh wow,
I might win him over for Georgia. It'd be interesting for sure.
Yeah,
how many people are coming to Georgia? What's it, like 10?
We got to be up there.
We've got. I know. Definitely off the top of my head, we got at least 9 that are solid.
I'm waiting. My one buddy from work hasn't made the call down to Kevin yet, but I keep bugging him. He wants to do it. He's just not making the call, so I'll have to force him this week.
There you go.
That's gonna be intense, dude.
I think PJ's a little bit distracted there, but
I swear I just heard my door open.
But obviously these organizations they're doing a lot for the conservation of wildlife. They're doing a lot to try to bring back the habitat. I know NWTA, a lot of the branch or
NWTF.
No, I was going to say NDA.
Oh,
but
you're mixing them all together. Too many acronyms, dude.
But
many acronyms.
The NDA, the local branches, a lot of them actually do. I forget exactly what they call it, but they do basically local WMAs, your state lands that you can hunt on. They actually adopt those and they kind of take them over, and they'll do, they'll get involved in prescribed burns. They'll get involved in just kind of cleaning up the area and just making a nice place for wildlife to want to go to and to use that habitat for like their own home, I guess you can say. And then also making it nice for other hunters and making sure that it stays there. There's a lot of public land out there. And if you have a few people that decided they want to go out there and destroy it, it's going to ruin it for everyone else. If you do the opposite, you get involved, you help clean that stuff out. It's going to help you, like I said, not only on the conservation side of it and helping the wildlife, but it's also going to help you get boots on the ground out there and learn different terrain features, learn different habitat features that these different animals prefer to go to. So that way, when you're going out scouting, wherever it is that you're deciding to hunt at, you know what to look for. And it's going to help everyone out a lot more.
So what about talk about this? What about companies? Because I know you brought up that you're a staff member for Treezyn, right?
So the other piece that we're going to talk about with this is staff positions, and that's either field staff, pro staff, depending on what the company calls it. I've mentioned it a couple times on here. I have multiple staff positions that I do. So I'm a field staff member for Treezyn Camo, and they're also involved with No Scent, which is a scent elimination company. And I also field staff for Wise Eye trail cameras. Well, it's actually Wise Eye Technology, but they have the trail cameras that I've been putting out. And then I'm on a pro staff for Element Archery, which is arrows, and their sister company, Flying Arrow Archery, which is broadheads. And then I also pro staff for Terminal Game Calls. They have turkey calls, grunt twos, predator calls, anything call wise that you would need for hunting. They're involved in all that. So the first one I joined was Treezyn. That was back in 2019, 2020, somewhere in that area. They're the ones that I've been with the longest. And basically for me, I wasn't really sure what it was, what it involved or anything, but at the time I was looking for solid camo that I can use for early season. because at the time I was just whitetail hunting. I wasn't even into turkey hunting yet, and I was always waiting until like mid-October to go out in the woods because it's just too hot. I was too uncomfortable. Wasn't really wanting to go out and sweat as much as you would in 90-degree weather in the woods. So when I started researching different camo companies, I came across treezyn, and that's when I learned about them. So I decided I really loved the pattern. It was very unique and not like a cookie cutter type of a real tree pattern or anything like that. And I wanted something unique, but it was also affordable. So I bought a set of their early season lightweight that they have and took it out in the woods one time, and I was immediately sold. So that night I went right on their website and I was looking to buy more, and I came across their field staff application. So I was looking into it and trying to understand what it was. Basically, treezyn's field staff, and really any of these staffs, they use the field staff or their pro staff, whatever they call it, as a way to help promote their product and get their name out there. So with treezyn specifically, when you first join their field staff, you get a one-time 35% discount on anything you want. You can buy out the whole website if you really wanted to. So it's a great way to save on getting any kind of product that you're looking to get into. And then we also get a field staff discount throughout the year. So we have all of these staffs that I have a private Facebook page. We talk hunting, we post pictures anytime you go out in the woods or you go out scouting or whatever, just take a selfie wearing the product or using whatever it is that you're trying to promote, post it to your Facebook page, or tag the company in your Facebook page, go to their private page, post it up. They'll use your pictures, or you do like a small product video, something like that. They could use that for their marketing. So you're basically helping promote that company. And when I started getting into it with treezyn, and then I found out about Element, and it just kind of went from there, and I just joined different ones. It's a great way, like I said, one, for you to save money. We're under budget. We're all about trying to save a dollar wherever we can. The way that I looked at it was, I'm going to be buying this product anyway. I'm going to be buying camo. I'm going to be buying trail cameras. I'm going to be buying arrows and broadheads. And at the time I was getting into turkey hunting. So I knew I was going to be buying turkey calls. Why not join a company that I know works? Cause I was using his grunt tube. I was like, hey, I know that looking at the main Facebook page, I can tell that these calls are working. I can tell that people are using this stuff and they're having success out in the woods. Why not join the staff, promote the company, and be able to save a couple dollars at the same time?
Right. I mean, do any of these companies like throw you a bone every once in a while? Like if they, let's say like you do a product review, right? And they share it, gains a lot of traction. Do they throw anything your way, like a giveaway or an extra coupon code or anything like that?
So for stuff like that, like Element and Flying Arrow right now is actually going through, all of us are putting videos together, putting them out there. And then if they use your video on either their own Facebook page or YouTube or whatever it is, I think you either get a discount, an extra discount, or like a free pack of like 6 arrows or something like that.
Okay.
Like they're constantly doing stuff like that.
Right.
Last year, was it last year? It was either last year or the year before, they came out with a new broadhead. So what they did was, you get a pretty good discount with Element and Flying Arrow. So what they were doing was, if you bought, say, like another pack of broadheads, they were sending you this test broadhead for free.
Okay.
And then you take that out, you test it. I shot it into a couple pallets, shot it into, a piece of cardboard at different angles and stuff, just kind of trying to, when you're testing broadheads, you try to do it as realistic as you possibly can to what your hunting situation would be. So, you put a piece of board up or something like that, like a piece of plywood, and try to shoot it at an angle, like if it's a 1/4-2 shot or something like that. when you're shooting into a pallet or piece of plywood, you're trying to simulate what it would be if you hit a shoulder blade, let's say.
Yeah.
So that way you can see what that broadhead is going to do, if it's going to hold up, if it's going to stand the test of being out in the elements. So obviously they need to do what they can to make money, but at the same time, they're also using their staff as their way of
testing,
hey,
and
you're real hunters. You're out there. You know what you want this product to do. Let us know. Give us some feedback on it. Get some reviews on it. This past winter, I would say, I think it was like the last 2 weeks in December, Treezyn, they actually just came out with what they call the Fortress system.
I
It's
remember seeing
basically
that in Harrisburg.
Yeah, so at Harrisburg was basically like when it was just announced to the public. So and that's not even out yet. Like you can pre-order it, but that, like, us, the field staff, we got first dibs at the pre-order, which is another benefit. Like I think we're getting it delivered in sometime in August, something like that. But what Treezyn did was they actually went to the field staff and we actually built that system for them. So they were posting videos to the field staff group and we're like, okay, this is what we're trying to do. What do you guys want for it? You guys are the ones out there that are going to be using this product. You're hunters. And there's people from all over the country in every state. There's people from Hawaii that are in this field staff. So they're like,
awesome.
You're out there, you know what elements you're hunting in, you know what you're doing. Obviously, us up north are going to have a little bit different opinion than someone down south.
Sure.
That's, their winters are 40 degrees to where our winters are 10 degrees, if not colder than that.
Sure.
I've sat in the woods before at -5. So, and all of what Treezyn has is kind of a layered system. So you're adding layers, like as you get to a different temperature or whatever. It's the same thing with the Fortress system, but the field staff is what built that system. We are the ones that put our input in, and they used everything that we said, and they built this amazing system that I absolutely cannot wait for it to come in.
Yeah, I mean, it looked absolutely awesome when we were standing right there in front of it.
Yeah, and I know the one guy, Mike, from the In-Season podcast, he was actually able to use the prototype in Kansas last year.
Yep.
And he said it was absolutely amazing. He was like, this is the best system that I've ever used. So, things like that, like if you want to be able to get involved and have your voice heard and be a part of something like that, a staff position would be a great way to do it. Treezyn also, every year, they do a giveaway for a South African hunt. All expenses paid. I mean,
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I'm doing my absolute best to get involved in that. And I'm at the point where I'm about to just say the hell with it and just pay for it and just go with them. Because every year when I see these guys going over there, it is absolutely incredible. Like the view, just to go over and see the views that they're seeing. I just want to go once just to see what it's like.
Yeah, I've seen some of the videos there. What's the hell? What's the name that they use? The name of the outfitter over there.
So they've used a couple different ones. The one a couple years ago was MPZ Safaris. The one they're going to this year, I think, is Dewo or Dewoo or something like that.
Okay. I know the one that they were talking on the In-Season podcast. I went and followed them. I can't think of the name.
Oh, are you talking about the company that does the videoing and all that?
Maybe. I thought it was the whole outfitter system out there.
Well, so there's pro staffers for Treezyn in South Africa. So Treezyn has a South African branch
essentially,
or whatever. So Treezyn is very involved in South Africa, and there's a company over there owned by Johan and Beulah Schmidt.
That's it. Yes.
Yes.
Johan was the guy.
Yes. So they own, it's called Hunt Tech Pro.
That's it. Hunt Tech Pro. Yep.
So they are essentially, how do I put it? They're basically like a liaison for outfitters.
Okay.
So you can contact Hunt Tech Pro and you can set up a hunt through Hunt Tech and then they will take you over there to whatever safari it is, depending on what animal you're going for and all that kind of stuff. And Hunt Tech Pro actually videos all of their hunts. So when you go on this hunt with Treezyn, your hunts are being videoed, and then they're being released on Carbon TV on whatever different episodes that they have.
Okay.
So you can have the opportunity to have, a hunt that you're doing on Carbon TV, which is awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be really cool to be involved in something like that. They've also done some other things. Like I know that they had a hunt 2 years ago, I think somewhere down in Texas. They were doing I think it was an axis deer, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean and then even there with Treezyn. So we've talked before about every year we go to the Great American Outdoor Show in Harrisburg. Yep. So if and they also go to NWTF every year in Nashville. They just went to some kind of expo. I don't know what it was called, but it was down in Florida somewhere. But they go to these different shows every year. And as part of the staff, you can sign up and go and work their booth at these shows. I worked the booth at Treezyn a couple years ago, and it is an awesome time to do it. It's a really long day standing there on your feet, but you get to meet and talk to a lot of people. You're getting to meet and talk to other staff members. You're getting to promote the product that you're using, and they use the field staff to do that because you are using the product in the woods. Who better is that to talk to people who are interested in buying the product? Firsthand, this is how the product works. This is how it works for me. This is how it fits. And every time that those shows go on, it's the president, Mike Austin, and the field staff director, Joe Willis, who are there pretty much the entire time.
Right.
I got to meet, I met both of them. Obviously, I met them through the Facebook page, but I got to meet them in person when I worked their booth. And a lot of times when you're thinking of like a president or like a CEO or something like that of a company, you kind of like already have kind of like this vision of how they would be in your head. These guys are not like that. They can sit here and talk to you just like we're talking right now, and they are the most down-to-earth people that I've ever met.
I mean, even when I was there, I didn't know them by face. I knew their names because I'm technically field staff, but I don't have access to anything because all that stuff that happened 2 years ago where for some reason I got denied Facebook access, and then I never got anything else. I've tried reapplying. I still got to talk to Joe about it, but yeah, I mean, when I walked up, I think you were talking to Mike from the podcast, and then like Austin came over to me and was chatting with me. I didn't even know who, I didn't know that was him at first. But I mean, yeah, they were. You wouldn't even know. You know what I mean? You wouldn't even know who you're talking to.
Yeah,
and you're saying it's exactly the CEO, and then you told me after, you're like, yeah, that was Mike Austin, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, and that's the thing with those guys. Like, they will just come up, they will talk to anyone, and a lot of times, like when I first met Mike and Joe, I could have sat there and talked to them all day long.
Right.
Obviously, we were there to sell product and to meet people walking through the show and everything, but I easily could have sat there and talked to them all day long and not even batted an eye at it. And even there, like I've met other staff members through doing that, and it's actually gotten to the point like we talk all the time. I mean, most of the time it's on Facebook, something like that. But I was there the first time when I worked a booth. I met a guy named Chad and Jason, and they were both actually winners of the South African hunt.
Oh, okay.
So we were talking about that, and then when they came back, we were talking. And actually, while we were there just this past year, they both walked up, and we all recognized each other because we've been talking and all that kind of stuff. Like, you build these friendships and you get these different connections. And even there with that, we keep talking about this Georgia hunt that we're going down to next year. Mike and Holden from the In-Season podcast, as soon as we mentioned that to them, that was the first time that we've ever met them, talked to them, anything. Yeah. And they were immediately, hey, swing through. We'll do some hog hunting. Absolutely. We'll hang out. You guys need a place to stay. You build these connections like that, and the friendships you can have are forever. And
yeah, I mean, they literally invited us right to the house. He was like,
Yeah,
yeah, on your
yeah.
way back, stop by, let us know what day you're coming, we'll shoot some hogs. I was like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. And every single person that I've talked to or met with any of these staffs, whether it be treezyn or element, flying arrow, or whatever it is, they're all that way. They're all involved. They're all willing to help each other out. A lot of times I actually see on different Facebook pages for these staff positions, we'll get, hey, I'm from here, but I'm going here for an out-of-state hunt. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going to hit public land. Somebody will drop a comment on there, hey, come to my property. You want to get on a bird, I'll get you on a bird. Or, hey, you want to shoot a deer, whatever the case. And they're just helping each other out. So if you're looking to venture out and do some public land hunting or go to different states to shoot a turkey or whatever, there you go.
Right.
You make those connections, you make those friendships with people, and then next thing you know, you can have, hey, every year I'm now going out to Oklahoma to go shoot a turkey because I now have this great friend out there that feels more like family.
Yeah, I didn't know it was all. I mean, I guess I knew it was like that. I just never took the time to like talk to any of those guys because, like, for me, right, I don't want to go up to some bigwig and be like, "Hi, I've been hunting for 3 days. Teach me,"
Well, and
Understandable.
when I first started getting into turkey, treezyn was actually a big reason as to why I got into it. Because when I first joined, it was in the middle of deer season, and then once it was out of deer season, I was kind of just like, all right, well, here I am. I got nothing to do until the fall comes back around. And I started seeing people posting a lot on the private page about getting excited to go out for turkeys, and they were kept talking about it. And then it came into season, and people were, getting all amped up and posting their harvest pictures and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, wow, like there's a really big dedication and really strong following on turkey hunting. And it kind of sparked my interest in wanting to get involved in it. So even, my first year, I went out to one day and I had another day I was able to go out, but it was supposed to rain. So I just went into the page. I was like, hey, I'm totally new to turkey hunting. What do turkeys do in the rain? Are they active? Are they not? Whatever. And within a day, I had over 100 comments on there. Hey, this is what you got to do. This is where you want to be. This is what to look for, stuff like that. And it was just, everyone was so willing to go in there and just answer anything I needed for anything. And it's really helped me out a lot. And then even there with joining the terminal game calls staff, that's obviously helped a lot with learning how to work a call, learning, what the different calls do and how they work and all that kind of stuff. That was a really great one for me to join, not only to save money and to, help promote a product that I'm using, but also to learn about the species that I'm going for. There's a great opportunity out there to just learn and just meet new people.
So, just to add on that, right? All these communities are like great, and they, they're trying to reach out. On the flip hand, right, you still have those types of guys who think that they're hot, and they'll talk down to you, right? So with the good, there's the bad. I know when 2-3 years ago when I started getting like into hunting, I did the same thing, like I jumped on, I think it was Facebook, and I just asked like a simple question. And, 99% of them were good. Just that one bad apple, you know what I'm saying? Like he said something smart. I was like, all right, dude, like obviously I'm new, like, so just keep that in mind when you're going into these public groups, the good with the bad.
Yeah, I mean, even on my personal Facebook page, when I posted the picture of my first deer, the spike, like I had 3 comments from friends of friends that were just like, "Why did you shoot that? Why? You could have let that grow for another 2 or 3 years and gotten something decent out of it. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's legal. Number one, number two, it was my first deer, and number three, who are you to tell me what I'm allowed, what I should and shouldn't shoot? You know what I mean? There's always those, like, the guys you're talking about, like those alphas that are just like, oh, I'm a big bad hunter, blah 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 blah. You don't need to be, raining on somebody's parade. And I've seen that, like, exactly like you're saying, Nate. I've seen that in a lot of these public groups, and it's just like, instead of essentially crapping on somebody, maybe just say, like, hey man, congrats on that. Now that you got your first deer out of the way, like, maybe let a spike pass next time, and you never know, maybe there's going to be an 8 walking around somewhere, or this or that. But again, and Brock said it, I don't know how many times, like, I'm not out there for trophies, essentially. Like, if I get a trophy, excellent. If it's not a trophy, it's going in my freezer, and I just saved my family 60, 70, 80 bucks on meat that is healthier than some of the stuff you get in the stores.
I will definitely say not for a trophy.
I'm just saying.
That trophy never walks out, so I just put it in my freezer.
And I get it. Yeah, sometimes people joke and whatnot on these Facebook groups, but for somebody that's just starting out, right? And that's like the first comments they get is like hate comments or just like trolling comments. You're just like, nah.
Well, and especially for, like, if you're just getting started in it, and you're like Nate, if he didn't have me taking him out to the farm, whatever, and he was trying to do this strictly solely on his own, and he were to shoot, a spike or something like that, and then he were to get all that, that's just going to be a deterrent. And now he's not going to want to get involved anymore. But those same people are going to be the ones who complain that there's no conservation, there's no habitat management or anything. But that license sale that you just took away from that person by discouraging them is now taking away from the fund that's going to put in that conservation that's very much so needed.
Right.
And there's already enough push and enough crap going on with the anti-hunters. Hunters going against each other is just tearing it apart even more. But when you join one of these field staffs or pro staffs or whatever with one of these companies, all of that goes away, because as soon as something like that is brought up, they're immediately kicked out and gone.
Right.
It doesn't matter. They're like, my first turkey was a Jake. A lot of people would be like, oh, it's a Jake, don't go after that. Or if you have someone who's in a state where it's legal to shoot a bearded hen. Me personally, my personal feeling is I wouldn't shoot one, but that doesn't mean I'm going to put you down because you did shoot one.
It's the same. It's the same with like the piebald deer and the albino deer. Oh, you can't shoot that. It's a bad superstition. Oh, I would have let that walk. Blah 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 blah. That's bad genes. And you're like, so what? If it's a legal kill, and I mean, okay, let me backtrack. If you're just killing it for the trophy and tossing the meat, that's a whole nother thing. Yes, but 100%. If you are just solely trophy hunting, that's a whole different thing. But for like us, we don't lop the head off and chuck the rest of it. You know what I mean? So for us, like, it doesn't matter, right? Like, okay, I know if I got like a really nice piebald or even an albino, I don't care how much it's costing, I'm getting it mounted. That's an excellent trophy to talk about. And then you see some of these, like I've seen it in the New Jersey hunting group, where somebody posted a picture of a piebald, and there was so many hate comments from people saying, you better not shoot that, it's got terrible genes, it's bad superstitions, you're gonna die from that, blah 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 blah. It's like,
yeah,
and it's, I mean, yeah, I can also see, on the other side, it is pretty badass to see all those unique,
rare animals. Yeah, I have seen one that I remember of, one piebald, and it was by Hagedorn when we were on a fire call.
Yeah,
When we were on Sanatorium Road, it was walking. Or yeah. What am I talking about? It was walking with us. Can't think of the word. As we were going up the road, and I was like, I looked in the back of the truck. I'm like, did y'all see that? That was half white and half tan. And I don't remember who it was. I think it was AJ in the back. Was like, yeah, that was weird. Or was it you?
And he said that, and then I was like, yeah, that's what they call a piebald. And then the rest of the call, instead of actually worrying about the call, you were just like, the hell's a piebald deer?
Yeah. But like, I was like, oh, look at that. That's weird. And little did I know that it's a pretty rare find,
But I mean, a lot of people, like, if you don't know about piebalds or never seen one, you're thinking it's either a normal deer or an all white albino deer. Not many people, especially if you're not involved in hunting or anything, you don't really know that there's a such thing as a piebald.
Right.
Or if you hear the word piebald, you don't know what they're referring to.
Yeah, I had no idea what it was.
Well, until you just broke it down, I had no idea. I was going to go on my phone after this and be like, what the hell?
There's what? For whitetail, there's piebald, albino, and then the very, very rare melanistic, which is all black from what I've been told.
Like that, yeah.
But now, like, I don't know, like, the genetics of it, right? So, like, if you have a piebald, will that reproduce more piebalds? Or are the genes, is it kind of like a donkey, right? Where, like, it just can't reproduce, like, the genes are shot. I don't know any of the genetics for it, so
I can honestly say I don't know anything about the reproduction on those.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to look into that, though. But
so let me ask you this then: if those types of deer came out and you had a clean shot, are you gonna take it, or are you gonna?
100%.
Okay. Let's just say I'm sitting in the tree stand and an albino doe walks out. I first off would probably be crapping my pants. But I don't know. Like, and it's not like, I think if it was like an albino buck, I would probably be all over it, or even a piebald buck. But if it was a doe, and even if I had a doe tag, I'm not 100% sure. I probably would, but like, I feel like if I had the chance to shoot a rare, I would kind of hope that it was like, imagine like hanging an albino, like big rack 8 or 10 on the wall. It would look so much cooler than a doe.
I mean, in all reality, like, I don't believe in any of that superstition stuff, whatever. Like, I
don't either, but like my thought process behind it, like with it being a doe, is like, if they can reproduce, I would rather it reproduce.
Right.
With the chance of it, again, I don't know if albinos reproduce only albinos, or if an albino and a regular tan mix, would it make a piebald? I have no idea. So, like I said, if it was a buck, yeah, I'd put it down. If it was a doe, I'd probably be relying on my research that I'm probably going to do after this podcast and make that decision then.
If it was a doe, you're probably going to be sitting there like this the entire time, too busy taking pictures and videos of it.
Also,
then it's good. And then it's going to walk off and it'd be like, oh, well, I had a shot, but
yeah, kind of like them hogs.
So with me not knowing how they reproduce, if that gene gets passed on, right?
Let's find out. Go ahead, continue.
If it was legal, I think I would take it. As long as it was like a mature doe or a mature buck, I would definitely take it 100%, because one, that's cool as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like you said, it'd be pretty cool to have this rare.
Okay. Well, I can tell you right now that if a piebald buck walks in front of me and I shoot it, that is 100% without a doubt a full body mount, and I will find a place to put it. It is getting a full body mount. I don't care.
So, as per the AI overview on Google, I typed in, can an albino whitetail reproduce? It says albino white-tailed deer can reproduce, but the offspring will only be albino if both parents carry the recessive trait for albinism. So that's kind of like what I was just saying. So if you mix an albino with a regular, there's a chance, but not
If the
guaranteed.
regular has, yeah, I mean,
If it's both albino, then there's a very high chance it will be albino.
As far as I know, like what you're considering a regular deer, just like a normal tan with the white belly or whatever, I'm pretty sure they can still carry that receptive gene or whatever. They're just not showing it on the outside, I guess you can say.
So reading further down, it says when two deer that are carriers of albinism breed, there is a 1 in 4 chance that they will reproduce an albino fawn.
That's pretty high.
So it's a 25% chance if both are true albino, it'll reproduce an albino.
And I can tell you one thing, the property that I started hunting on as a kid, actually the one that I was talking about last episode about where I was in the blind and screwed up the hunt. Yeah. That property, we actually had an albino doe at one point on that property. And that doe was a 100% outcast. No other deer went anywhere near that thing. If there was a couple deer at the feeder and that albino walked in, the rest of them scattered. They were gone. They wanted nothing to do with that deer at all. And that deer actually ended up getting killed by a tree during Hurricane Sandy.
Yikes.
We had on that property, not Sandy, Irene, the one before it.
Okay.
During Irene, I think we found a total of 7 that were killed by trees that came down. We lost a good amount of deer on that one.
Interesting.
That's crazy. You survive hunting season to be taken out
by a dang tree.
Yep. But to bring this back on track, what we were talking about, we went off on a little tangent there, but
well, I mean, it's good knowledge. We were obviously all wondering the same thing.
I still think I would take it.
Again, buck, yes. Doe, maybe.
I'm still going to be sitting there, you know.
Oh, absolutely. I'll get it.
I'm not going to lie. When you just said buck, yes, doe, I'd think about it. You kind of cut out a little bit, and it almost sounds like you need some editing in that one.
All right, let me mark that one down.
Not going to lie. But, you know, as we were talking with, like, how this got brought up with the whole social media and stuff like that, like I was saying, when you're joining these groups, you're not going to have that negativity. You know, back in February, when I posted that I shot my ram, everyone on there was like, congratulations, it's awesome, all that. Not a single person, when I posted a couple weeks ago about my first turkey, was, oh, well, what's the beard length? What's the spurs? Nothing like that. It was just, congratulations, great job. It took you 4 years, much respect, you know, like whole thing. There was nothing negative about it whatsoever. You know, you're always going to have that positivity coming in. And it's kind of reassuring when you have something like that tight-knit, almost like a family, pretty much. Like, I know it's kind of cliche to say that, but that's honestly what a lot of these companies' staffs feel like. And pretty much any company out there has some kind of staff. Like, I know Fourth Arrow Camera Arms. I bought one of their arms 2 years ago to try to do some self-filming and stuff like that in the woods. They have a field staff. You can join on with them, buy a camera arm, and, you know, promote that while you're out in the woods and save a little bit of money while you're trying to do it. You know, there's different ones. You know, if there's like a specific kind of like a mineral company or something of that sort, a lot of those have their own staffs. And most of the time, just because I'm expecting one of you two to ask it, I'm going to answer it now. Most of them, you just go on their website and they have a link right to it. You just, you know, you go into the drop down and it'll say, you know, it's a lot of times it's going to be under the contact us tab. You click that and it'll say, you know, staff membership or, you know, something like that. Or if you're really interested in doing it, reach out to them. Just reach out on Facebook or reach out, you know, go onto their website and send a message like an email through that or whatever. Just be like, hey, I really like your product. I'm interested in, if do you have some kind of a staffing position or something like that I can get involved in to help promote your product? Most of them will either say, hey, we're full now, or yes, here's your application. Or they'll be like, yeah, here you go. Let's have a conversation. Let's get you joined up or whatever the case. And a lot of them, like I said, have a private Facebook page that you can go to one, promote the product, but also meet and talk to other hunters that are involved in that staff and just start making friendships and just start talking to people.
And also,
I like it.
talking about like discounts and all this stuff. If you're in the military, retired, or police, these companies, the companies that I've asked, like all the big chain ones, they give you 10% off. So just don't forget to ask. If you don't ask, then you don't know.
Yeah.
If you don't know, then it could be wasting money.
Yeah, and a lot of these, like when you join the field staff or pro staff or something like that, the lowest one I have is a 15% discount. The highest one I have is 40. So you can really save a lot of money. As I said before, we're all about the under budget and trying to save some dollars everywhere. This would be a great way to do it. Even if you were to spend $35 a year to join the premium membership for the NDA, that comes with a whole list of discounts that you can use through the NDA. I think it's like 10% or something like that for most of them. But 10% here is some extra money that you're saving somewhere else or that you can spend somewhere else.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Anything you can do to help you out. And then at the same time, you're also meeting new people, making those connections. You're getting involved. You're learning about the conservation. You're learning about habitat management, anything that goes into that. And it's just going to help you out. It's just an all around great thing for yourself to do, especially if you're new trying to get into this.
Well, shoot, I'm all good. I ain't got no more questions.
Yeah. I mean, answered a lot of mine. We learned a lot. All of us.
Including albinos.
Yeah.
So now you know. And knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, you're starting to learn that very quickly.
Absolutely.
So yeah, PJ, you want to close this out?
I definitely can. Sorry, I'm just answering a message I just received. Yeah, so again, make sure you guys are liking all of our socials. Brock's been doing an excellent job with the TikTok and the Facebook. Getting a lot of traction on there. So make sure you guys go like that, subscribe. Make sure you're liking and subscribing on the YouTube as well. Feel free to comment. We don't really get any comments, but we do enjoy having conversations with people. So I'm trying to get something set up for our next episode with what would be our first interview technically. And one of my buddies that we actually talked about in the last episode possibly be joining us for next week's episode, which would be really awesome, and hopefully that works. But until then, it doesn't take big bucks to kill big bucks. So thank you guys again, and we'll catch you next time.
Deuces.
Later.